G'day everyone and welcome back to Aussie Garage. Today we're out at Andy's place and checking out this amazing collection you can see behind us. There's a great selection of cars here to go through. So we won't be going through them all today, but we will be going through them slowly over time. But we've got a couple of Valiants to kick things off. Right, g'day everyone and welcome to today's episode. Today we're here with Andy. Andy, welcome to the channel, mate.
Thanks, mate.
Now, you've got a huge collection here that we're going to spend a bit of time going through over the next little while.
Yep.
But first of all, we're going to start with these two Valiants that we've got here.
Yep.
So these were the first two Valiants that you started this current collection off with, I believe.
In 1989, yep.
Yep. All right, so tell us a little bit about this one first up.
I came back from overseas, broke. I had a $1,000 bank card back in the day. That's all we had was, you remember, a bank card?
Yep.
My age away. I had $1,000 and I bought this car for $1,000 using my bank card. It was being traded in at Shack Holden in Fremantle. Saw it in there, thought that's unusual, me and my dad. And went in and a lady was trading it in on a new Gemini. They offered her $1,000 trade-in, yep, and they sold it straight to me for $1,000. That was in 1989 and still own it today.
Oh, perfect, mate. So this has been your daily drive for a while then?
It was. Originally, it was my daily drive. It's the only car I had. Came back from overseas and I had lived in Kalgoorlie, but I was trying to set up in Perth and I didn't like Perth, so I ended up with a girlfriend in Kalgoorlie, who's now my wife, and I drove up and down in this car.
Yep, nice.
To see her, and it was my regular driver for a number of years.
There's a bit of sentimental value with this one versus some of the others in the collection.
Totally. Yeah.
You were saying that your kids learned to drive in this one, and that sort of thing.
Yeah, and they're like 45 years old.
Yep.
Born in 79 and 80, and so they were driving this when they were little kids, and still got it.
Yeah. So you've obviously got a real passion for cars. So where did it all start? What was the thing that actually hooked you into obviously collecting like you do and just being into old cars?
Probably in grade 3, I lived in Exmouth. I saw a HG-HT Monaro, that dark green colour, Vidello or something like that, with a gold stripe on it. And I'd have been about 8. And I just fell in love with that car and never owned one, but that's got me started. And when I left to join the Navy at 17 years old, I had 500 dinky cars, which ended up at the bloody Wickham Daycare Centre.
Oh, right.
Never to be seen again.
Yeah, oh, that's unfortunate. Yeah.
So I was car nut. By the time I was 18, I had 4 cars, 2 motorbikes.
Yep.
And I always collected cars. And when my marriage broke up and went overseas, I sold the cars and what cars I had at that time, and started again when I got back. When I went back to Kalgoorlie, got a good job, and went into business, and Kalgoorlie were very kind to me. Yep. Very, very kind to me.
Oh, awesome.
And
that's when these two first came on the scene?
Yeah. I bought this in Perth, as I said, Fremantle.
Yep.
And later, when I wanted a bit of a hot rod, I bought a blue Charger.
Well, let's take a closer look at this one. We'll pop the bonnet. All right, so like you say, just very original under here. The 265 is not original.
No, they never came with 265s. When I was younger and dumber, I chucked a skid and dropped a main bearing, and so back in those days you could wheel it into a workshop and about $1,200-1,500 to put a new engine in it and pick it up after work and drive it home. So that's the same engine, that's been in there 35 years. But we've got a new engine in the shed ready to go in, all painted up, just got to get to it.
Yeah, you're saying this one's fairly tired now after doing a lot of work over the last 30 odd years.
Done a lot of miles.
Yeah.
But reliable as the day is long, to turn the key, the thing goes every time. It's just an incredible car.
Well, they're very simple, weren't they, compared to the modern stuff?
Yeah.
There's not a lot that can go wrong, and if something does go wrong, you'll need a bit of fencing wire and some sticky tape and you'll be good to get to the next town.
Yeah. Tight-ass Valiant owner to do that.
Yeah. Fair enough.
It's still original number plates on it. Just, spring gold.
Yep.
Very 70s colour.
Yeah.
The brown.
Oh, it's great though. Look, I mean, that's the nostalgia of these old cars that everyone gets a hit out of these days.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, I mean, modern cars, silver, black, grey. you know.
Boring, yeah.
Boring, you know. I mean, look around here, the different colours we had back in the 70s and 80s.
Yeah.
You know?
All the manufacturers were trying to get your attention, I think, you know.
Yeah. I don't know, 70s, you know, psychedelic times, all that sort of stuff.
Yeah,
You know,
yeah.
left over from the 60s. These cars are based on the American Dodge Dart or Scamp, and they just put a VG Valiant front on it, and that's the Australian version of it.
So what gearbox and diff you got behind this? I assume it's just the standard running gear?
Yeah, Borg Warner 35, single spinner diff. Nothing fancy, nothing fast. It'll get me there. It's always got me there. This car, it's been everywhere. It's been off-road, it's been in the bush, it's been on the beach at Esperance. You know, I have repainted it and redone the vinyl roof, changed the interior. The buffalo hide wasn't available. And I'm the second owner. The original owner died and his wife was driving it, and I bought it. It had a padded cushion for her to sit on.
Okay, yeah, nice.
Like a little European lady.
Yep.
I don't know,
Yep.
from Greece maybe. I don't know, I can't remember.
$1,000 well spent, 30 years on, she's still running and doing you good service, mate. So, yeah.
36 years I've owned this old car.
Oh, awesome, mate.
Yeah.
All right, let's go around and have a look inside.
Yeah. What a beautiful thing.
Mate, it's just old school, isn't it? Like,
It just smells like an old car.
yeah. I just love these untouched interiors. They're really cool. Like, even with the old radio in here, that's unreal.
Yeah, it still works. A little bit crackly, but it still works. Tick, tick, flick, flick, on, off.
Yeah, and like I said, they're very simple, weren't they? You know, there was not a lot to
go wrong.
Not a lot to worry about in these old cars.
No.
And the dimmer switch on the floor is one of my favourite things these old cars had. So you're saying you had the trim done at some point with the velour, and that was...
yeah, we couldn't get the buffalo hide vinyl at the time. This was my daily driver, so we put the velour in it, and 35 years later the velour's still in here and still in good nick.
It looks fantastic, it still looks really good. The trimmer's done a great job. Obviously, yourself being in that trade, were you in that trade at the time?
No. Okay. I had to pay a local trimmer to do it in Kalgoorlie. Just couldn't be bothered changing it. You know, it's lovely and comfy.
It is,
I'm not selling it, so the next owner can put the buffalo hide.
Yeah. And it's like the old saying goes, you know, it's if it ain't broke, don't fix it.
Yeah.
You know, if there was foam hanging out of it and stuff, fair enough.
Yeah. No, it doesn't even sag, mate. You know.
Yeah. And there's no modification in here at all. There's no extra gauges. There's no nothing, is there?
No.
Nothing's been
The old
added.
lady who had it used to hang a rubbish bag off there.
Oh, is that what the little toggle's for?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
Fasten your seatbelt sign there, which I got rid of that. Still got the Rego sticker from how long ago when we stopped getting them.
Oh, 2006, there we are.
Yeah.
And the classic old Venetian blinds at the back, they're a pretty popular thing. So they're the original ones for the
they were in the car when I bought it.
Awesome.
When I was a young bloke, 17 years old, I was in the Navy in Melbourne, and I bought those cushions at the Melbourne markets.
Okay,
and I've always ridden on the back parcel shelf of my cars.
Yeah, nice.
Because when I was young and not as smart as I am today, get drunk and
party on,
sleep on the back seat. And that's what the cushions were for.
Oh, okay, nice,
So I just left them in this car, you know. Yeah, those cushions went through a few cars before they finally come to rest here.
Yeah.
But that's what they were for.
Yeah.
For catching Zeds after a big night.
No, perfect. Yeah. And you got your little companion here?
Yeah, got the nod and dog.
Little wobble dog.
Got to have a nog and dog.
Yeah. So has he been with the car for a while, has he?
Oh, as long as I can remember.
Yeah, fair enough.
As long as I can remember. Yeah, someone bought it for me as a joke, you know, Valiant owner.
Yep.
You know, Marrickville Mercedes.
Yep.
Whatever they want to call them.
Nice.
Lighter still works.
Yep.
You know.
No, all there, fantastic. Yeah. Original steering wheel, the whole lot.
Yeah, I've got a cover on that. Got a couple of cracks in it, and
it
gets a bit hot in the summer's day.
Yeah. Well, your dash is still in great nick too.
Yeah, I don't think we've ever changed that.
Yeah, not even a mark, or it doesn't even look like it's had much sun damage.
No, I think it's lived indoors. This car it certainly lived indoors in the time I've owned it, and I'd say the previous owner, because when I got the car, it was in really good condition.
On the tree?
On the tree.
And it just keeps this area nice and open, doesn't it? With,
it does, yeah.
Stick up there.
Yeah, you get three across the front. Yep. No worries at all.
Quite easy. All right, mate, no worries. Well, let's jump around and have a quick look at what's going on around the back, and then we'll go and have a look at the next one.
Okay.
All right, mate, so we're around at the back end here.
Yep.
And I've been corrected so many times. Hardtop.
Yeah.
Yeah, now you were saying something interesting about how they were determining hardtops and coupes a moment ago.
Yeah, it was done by the cubic size of the interior of the vehicle. That's one of that determines if it's a coupe or a hardtop.
Okay.
And you can't quote me, but I thought it was 33 square feet, but I don't really know. And I mean, a hardtop can be a four-door. A hardtop can be a station wagon, as long as it doesn't have any pillars. You know, a car like this, you can call it a coupe, you call it a hardtop. It probably matches both descriptions fine.
Yep.
If it's got the pillar behind the driver door there, it becomes a post sedan.
Oh, it's interesting to just have some theory behind that thought, because people say it all the time, oh, it's a hardtop, not a coupe.
Yeah.
Particularly the Ford guys, you know, they like to correct people because, as you were saying before, they marketed them as hardtops.
As a hardtop, yeah.
So that's fair enough, but it's interesting to know actually a little bit more on why they might have made that decision to call them the different things.
Yeah, yeah. I've got it written down. I've got it written next to it. It used to be a bugbear of mine. My car's been called coupe, so I looked it up on the internet, and whatever it is of engineers, there is a definition of coupe as opposed to a hardtop.
Yeah, awesome. Well, if anyone can elaborate on that, stick it in the comments, because it's a fascinating thought. Yeah, cool. So again, everything's just pretty tidy around the back here. You've got some dragway wheels on it.
Yeah. Back in the day, you know, if you put mag wheels on your car, something special.
Yep.
Now, I mean, cars come from the factory with mag wheels.
Yeah.
A bit generic and a bit boring, but back in the 60s and 70s, especially putting mag wheels on your car was something special. They were expensive to start with, you know.
Yeah.
Of course, they were magnesium mags, and so they were lighter. They were like a performance addition to your car.
Yeah.
And then
there was the styling that just made them look a bit better.
Oh, too right, yeah. I've still got the original hubcaps for this car in the boot.
Yep.
And the full dress trims. And then we put extractors on, Holly 350.
Yep.
That was the thing back in the day. You know.
It was always the tinker, wasn't it? Like, I remember whenever you'd buy a car back in the day, the first thing you'd do was pop the bonnet and say, right, what can we do?
Chrome rocker colour.
Yeah, anything. It didn't matter what it was. You were improving your car, hey? Like,
and side plates.
Yeah, anything.
Engine side plates.
Yep.
Specco floor shift, mate.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah.
Don't install it properly so it jams. Yeah, been there, done that.
They were really good old days, weren't they, when you could just get under the bonnet, tinker, play around, you know, do stuff yourself.
Lift the bonnet, you can see the engine.
Yeah.
You know, a couple of those modern cars, and they always see a big plastic thing with writing on it.
Yeah,
you know?
that's it. Yeah.
And you can't fiddle with them. They break down, you call the RAC, you walk away.
That's it.
This breaks down, you get out and have a fiddle with it.
Yeah.
Nothing wrong with wallowing along, mate.
Yep, that's it. Perfect. All right, so this is the wallower. Let's go look at the racer. All right, mate, so after you bought this one, drove it around for a little while, this one came along, I believe?
Yeah, this one came along as, wasn't this exact car, I rebodied the car. It started as, it had a hot 265, 4-barrel, cane manifold, 4-speed, faded paint and rust. I took it to the panel shop and the panel beater said, do yourself a favour, mate, just go buy another one and put your fast gear in. And that's what I did. So I took all the fast gear out, went into this car, and then I sold that Charger to a bloke in Campbell, the same price I paid for it, without an engine.
Yeah, nice.
So that was a bit of a win. You don't get too many wins with motor cars.
No, that's for sure. Did you have the idea to have this one to have fun in? Was that the idea of this car from the beginning?
Oh, no. My first Charger was a blue Charger, and it came up for sale, so I bought another blue Charger. I just wanted a Charger, you know.
Yep.
You know, I've got 5 Valiant Chargers, and I just love them. You know, one Chrysler Charger for the Tavos.
Yeah.
And, it's nowhere near stock standard. It started life as, I think it was sold in Victoria as a VH-245 3-speed poverty pack. I bought it off a young bloke who was thrashing it around town, and it had a 265 with triple Webers, and the young fella's dad bought it for him, and it was sold at the local Holden dealer. This young fella bought it, blew the motor up, so it ended up with a standard 245 when I got it. Had this nice Bahama blue paint on it already, and the bumpers were painted blue back then, and a boring batshit interior, blue and black interior, and it had 2 gears, second and fourth, because he thrashed the arse out of it. He'd hit a pole. He's a young kid showing off outside the schools, he's that sort of guy. So the front end was punched in, and he paid 10 grand for it from Kyle Motors back then. He came down, saw me, knowing I'm a Valiant guy, and wanted 10 grand for it.
Yeah.
And I go, I'll give you 3. And it wasn't even registered. He was driving around unregistered.
Yeah, right.
So I offered him 3,000, and his dad came down, and his dad had a local shop. He's Eastern European gentleman, always had a wad of money in his pocket. He goes, I will take that $3,000.
Yep.
Job done.
Yep, easy.
Yeah,
He probably wasn't too impressed with the young fella wrecking it.
No. I had a tough 265 to put into it, and a couple of 440s went into it. By modern standards, it's probably it's dated now.
Yep.
But hey, I'm dated.
Yeah. Aren't we all now?
Me and this mate here, we belong together.
Yeah.
I've got modern cars that go fast. Still goes fast,
Yeah. But it does it a lot cooler than some of the modern cars, I reckon. The noises are better, the whistle and wind through the gaps in the doors and everything. It's all part of the nostalgic hit for me.
Oh, mate, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, my screensaver was this car with its front wheels off the ground at Motorplex.
Awesome,
so
mate.
it got along.
Yeah.
And they sent me home.
Yep. All right, well, let's have a quick look under the bonnet and have a look at this beast.
Yeah.
All right.
A car that always puts a smile on your face.
An old school rev head kind of an engine bay is the way I describe that, just built for go.
But it's been through an evolution, this car. It's now 440 big block, 650 horsepower with 80 nitrous. It's built for 250 nitrous. Tim Sarko, West Racing, built it.
Yep.
And it's built tough from front to rear because I lived in Kalgoorlie for 36 years. I didn't want it to break. I said to Tim, on a 650 horsepower car, it won't break. And that's what he built. 35 spline axles, all the good stuff in this car.
Yeah, because there's a long way to come back to Perth to fix anything, isn't it?
Yeah, so 441 horsepower to rear wheels on the dyno, and that's 3 blokes sitting in the boot and tied to a ute, trying not to spin.
Yep, gotcha.
I can't remember the Newton meters to talk now. I've got it written down somewhere. But it's had a few engines in this car. It's been a Motorplex. Got sent home from Motorplex. Went a tad too fast. Had roll cage and
harnesses
front
and bits and
runners
pieces.
from memory and
a
couple of things I can't remember now. It's a while ago. So it's detuned now. It's got 3 5s in the diff, a milder cam in it, and we put it's got chassis connectors in it and Caltrek, so the car doesn't twist now.
Yep.
Because after a run, the car would twist and you couldn't open the bloody doors.
Okay.
You had to wait for the car to settle. By the time you got back to the pitch, the car would be okay. But if you stopped at the end of the track and tried to open the door, it wouldn't open.
Okay.
So, it's full chassis in it now.
Yeah, right.
Eventually the doors sagged, so I put new hinges in it since I've retired it. But it's still a fast, loud car.
Yeah.
Still gets your heart pumping. It's still on nitrous, so we've got the big blue bottle in the boot. So if you want to have a bit of fun, it's there to be had.
Yep.
Yeah, because originally we just lowered the 440 with the four-speed A8 33. We just lowered it in, took the bonnet off, lowered it in, put it on the 6-cylinder K-frame, got out the stick welder and went brrr, brrr.
Yeah, okay, yep.
Couldn't shut the bonnet, so I got an old bonnet, cut a hole in it, painted matte black, bolted it on there, and we had a 440 4-speed, a bit agricultural, the engine sat right forward and couldn't run a fan.
Yeah, okay.
Because the engine was too far forward,
Yeah.
And thrashed around in that for a while, blew it up because it wasn't a new engine; it was just a second-hand engine out of a container. Yeah. And that was a lot of fun, and that gave me the bug to put a
bigger
tough
motor
440
in it.
in it, So
Yeah.
there's no money spared when I built this car. Straight out of the 90s, Dan.
Mate, it is. Oh, look at this. Wow. Crushed velour, which I haven't seen in a very, very long time.
No. Wood lining crushed, mate, eh?
Yeah.
Eh?
You say you'd scream in the 90s in here,
Yeah.
mate. This is awesome.
And this is the piping they put on, marine piping, remember, like on jet ski seats and stuff like that.
Yeah.
It's got the silver sparkle in it.
Yeah, yeah. A little bit of shine to it, a little bit of razzle dazzle.
Yeah, I think originally this car had vinyl floor on it, and the armrests are out of a Chrysler by Chrysler.
Yeah, they're a bit different, aren't they?
Yeah, I think they come out of maybe a Regal.
And unlike the other one, this has got the 90s stuff in it. We've got the upgraded stereo. We've got a few gauges here and there.
Yeah.
The smaller steering wheel, that sort of thing.
Yep. Line locker, nitrous down there.
Yep. Yeah. And this fabric is, I can't remember what I used it on back in the day, but
Popular.
I used it on something. That's definite for sure. Yeah.
Oh, popular as, you know, people watching are going to say, I've got that in my car.
Yeah, I'd reckon a lot will. Yeah.
They'll be old guys, though.
Yeah.
Guys. The old guys going, I've got that in my old car.
Yeah.
Yeah. With the B&M quick shifter.
Yep. So you said you had the manual shift kitted 7.
Yeah, fully manualised 727.
727.
Yeah. It's a reverse pattern. Custom 9-inch. Yeah. All the good stuff in the diff. 35 spline motor axles. That's how tough we build it.
So when it was trimmed back in the day, was this done in your trim shop, or was this again done somewhere else?
No, Dean Gray, one of my motor trimmers at the time, did it.
Yep, perfect.
Yeah. And he's old school. You know.
Yep.
I mean, he's a Holden man, but I don't hold that against him too much, you know. Yeah, he didn't mind working on my Valiants, but he preferred working on a Holden. Yeah, but he's a good tradesman, you know.
Yeah, look, I don't mind what I'm working on as long as I get to do something interesting.
Something interesting, yeah.
And this certainly wouldn't have been a run-of-the-mill thing to do back in the day.
No, black and blue velour, that's all it was. No piping, no lines, just some lines stitched into it. Batch bloody boring.
Yeah.
So it wasn't hard to change it, you know. Yeah.
Look, these tombstone seats have a nice style to them anyway. You follow the piping lines and you can make a nice seat out of them anyway, in my opinion.
Yeah, and they're comfy as. Comfy as all get out, these things.
Yeah, definitely.
I love them.
So you still get this one out and go for a cruise?
Yeah, all these cars, every 8 weeks, they've all got a logbook.
Yep.
A bit harder in winter. I hate starting them and just moving them in one place, you know, like back and forward 6 inches and get them warm and excite everything electrically, which is what I used to have to do when I was living in Kalgoorlie. I had concrete tilt-up units, 15 cars jammed in each unit, and
you couldn't just get them out easily.
You get one car out easy, the one behind the roller door. Yeah. You know, whereas now, I don't live in town, so I've always got an excuse to go to town. Yep. So I just grab a car. This is actually the next car to be driven. Yep. Yeah. This is due to be driven next fine day.
Yep. Beautiful.
I mean, sometimes I just feel like driving something a bit different, you know. So I just I'll just go grab what I feel like driving. Yep. But my mates help me as well. I've got a couple of mates here, and they'll come down and we just drive around the area, you know. Yeah. Just to turn the wheels.
It is a nice area out here to go for a drive, that's for sure.
Yeah, and you know, who's going to say no?
Yeah, no, that's it.
Taking a car for a burn, you know.
Yeah, no, 100%. Yeah. All right, well, let's jump out and have a look around the back. All right, so the classic Charger back end.
Yeah.
Yeah, it just looks pretty standard, this one.
No, it's a poverty pack car originally. But the only flash thing on the back of it's a fuel filler, you know. Yep. Originally it just had a key. Okay. A key type of standard fuel cap. Yep. Originally the car had painted bumpers. I kind of like the old school chrome look.
Yeah, definitely. Colour-coded bumpers was very much an 80s, 90s thing, though. I mean, it probably went with the trim perfectly.
I've still got the bumpers. I've only just put these on, like literally in the last couple of months. I've had the car 35 years, and I always painted bumpers.
Yeah, certainly. I like the chrome as well. You've got to have something a bit of shine, something to reflect.
Yeah, modern cars. Yeah, you know, come on, put some shiny shit on them. Yeah.
What size exhaust you got run on this one? You got a couple of nice big chrome.
Yeah, just 2-inch.
Yep.
Twin 2-inch. I can't remember what mufflers I got on it, but the noisy, sporty ones. You know.
Fair enough.
Yeah, the exhaust has been on it forever.
Yep.
And it lives in a shed. It rarely gets driven. Yeah. You know, I've owned it that long. I've forgotten what's in it. You know, it's crazy. But
well, if you just enjoy driving it, you don't really need to know, do you? There's a lot of people out there driving around. They've got no idea what's happening, bar them pushing the pedal. You know.
Yeah. Yeah, I'd have the paperwork for it somewhere. I've got a file inside stacked with receipts. I mean, I could pull it out and go, oh, it's got these bits.
Yeah.
You know, if I was selling it, I could tell someone.
Yeah.
You know, so here's all the receipts, mate. You know, once it's done, I'm not.
Yeah, we don't need to stress too much about that, I don't think. And what are the wheels on this one? There's
I think they're Kragers.
Deltas, actually, are they? Yeah, Deltas.
Yeah.
The Krager look Deltas.
They're a copy. They're a knockoff.
Yeah.
Yeah. But that's chrome, old school.
That's it, mate.
I like that shit. You know, I've thought about putting modern wheels on it, but I've got modern cars. But these are 15s. You know, getting tyres was too hard, you know. And this thing chews tyres.
Well, even 14s now are getting near impossible to get.
Yeah. You can get them through the vintage tyre places, but you pay for them.
Yeah.
You know, I've got some cars here with BF Goodrich TAs on, and boy, aren't they expensive.
Yeah, I'll bet.
You know.
Yeah.
But they look cool.
Yeah.
You know, I like that old cool tread pattern.
Yeah.
I like the white writing. You know, all that old school stuff. You know.
All right, Andy, mate. So we've had a look at the cars that started this whole collection off.
Yeah.
And as everyone can see behind us, there's quite a few to go through.
Yeah, 40, I think.
Yep. So we're obviously not going to get through all that today,
No.
but look, we'll be coming back over time and selecting one or two cars out of your collection each time to have a look at. So
no worries at all, mate.
So we're really looking forward to that. You've got a very diverse collection, which is what I like. You've got a lot of different stuff in here. Yeah. Everything from Jaguars to El Caminos to Challengers to Chargers to there's quite a mix of stuff in here, which is really, really good.
Yeah.
Yeah. So thanks heaps for your time today. We really appreciate it. And we're looking very forward to coming out and picking out the next couple of cars to talk about.
You're welcome,
Awesome.
Dan.
Thanks very much, Andy.
No worries, mate. See you again.
Cheers.